There is a very specific kind of loneliness that doesn't look like loneliness at all. It looks calm, controlled, self-contained. A person who keeps their life organized, their emotions neat, their relationships at a safe, comfortable distance. And yet, if you look closely, you notice something subtle. Whenever someone gets too close, they pull back. Not dramatically, not destructively. More like an instinctive step back that even they don't fully notice. They don't reject people. They simply create space. A longer pause in a message. A softer tone that says, "I care, but stay over there." A sudden shift from warmth to neutrality when intimacy begins to grow. And inside them, a quiet conflict forms. Why do I want closeness so deeply, yet feel uneasy the moment it begins to happen? For many people, this is not a flaw. It's not coldness. It's a learned form of self-protection, a survival strategy built long before they had the words to describe it. Today, we're going to explore why some people fear becoming close to anyone, even when part of them longs for connection with every fiber of their being. So the question at the center of this video is simple, but emotionally heavy. Why does a person fear the very closeness they long for? Why does intimacy feel comforting and threatening at the same time? Why do some people crave connection, yet retreat the moment it becomes real? To understand this, we need to look at the subtle, often invisible psychological mechanisms that shape a person's ability to tolerate closeness. One of the most powerful is the protective system built in childhood, long before adulthood relationships even begin. Imagine a child who learned, over time, that closeness wasn't stable. Maybe their parent loved them but was unpredictable. Warm one moment, distracted the next. Attentive on good days, distant when stressed. The child begins to form a quiet rule in their mind. Don't rely too much. Don't go all the way in. Not because they don't want connection, but because connection felt risky, inconsistent, or subtly painful. Fast forward into adulthood, and this rule is still running in the background. Now think of a couple. One partner opens up emotionally, sharing something vulnerable. The other feels a sudden tightening in their chest. A slight urge to change the topic or make the moment lighter. Nothing extreme, just enough to break the intimacy before it feels too real. They might tell themselves, "I'm just not in the mood right now." Or, "This is getting too heavy." But beneath that discomfort lives a deeper message. Closeness means exposure, and exposure means danger. And for someone with avoidant attachment patterns, that danger isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's the fear of being seen, misunderstood, or somehow not enough. In friendships, it shows up as staying on the surface, being supportive, being there for others, but rarely allowing others to see their inner world. In family relationships, it might look like adult children who care deeply but struggle to soften, to let their guard down, to let affection flow naturally. The avoidance isn't rejection. It's protection. A protective system so deeply woven into their identity that they don't even notice it firing. Let's go deeper. Behind the fear of closeness lies something even more fundamental. Early emotional wounds that never healed in the way the person needed. These wounds may not be traumatic in the dramatic sense. Sometimes they are made of quiet, repeated moments. A parent who didn't have time. A caregiver who loved, but emotionally distanced themselves. A household where feelings were not dangerous, just irrelevant. Or a first romantic relationship where vulnerability was met with disappointment or rejection. Every small injury layers into a message. Intimacy is not safe. It is unpredictable. It exposes you. And in the subconscious mind, safety becomes more important than connection. So the adult grows into someone who can love deeply, but only from a distance they can control. Take a friendship, for example. Two friends become close over years. One day, the relationship starts deepening, more emotional honesty, more mutual dependence. Suddenly, the person with intimacy fears starts stepping back. They don't fight. They don't disappear. They simply reduce closeness by 5%, then 10%, until the relationship returns to a level that feels safe. Now consider an adult child and parent. The parent wants emotional closeness, but the child, now grown, maintains a quiet barrier. They visit, they talk, they care. But something remains unspoken, untouched, protected. This is not a rejection of the parent. It's a continuation of the pattern the child once learned from that same parent, or from someone else entirely. Avoidant attachment isn't about not needing people. It's about not trusting that closeness will be safe enough to fully surrender to. And as the layers build, the fear becomes less about others and more about themselves. They fear that if someone comes too close, that person will see the parts they've spent years hiding. Their vulnerabilities, their emotional hunger, their insecurities, their unhealed wounds. Closeness becomes a mirror they don't feel ready to look into. Here is the core insight, the turning point. Most people who fear closeness are not afraid of others. They are afraid of themselves in connection with others. Afraid of needing someone. Afraid of depending on someone. Afraid of being seen in their unfiltered, unprotected form. Afraid of the possibility, even the faintest possibility, that intimacy could repeat the disappointments of the past. So the fear of closeness is, at its core, the fear of reliving old pain. And because the mind cannot distinguish between emotional memory and emotional prediction, it tries to prevent future wounds by avoiding present intimacy. This is why the fear doesn't go away with logic. You can tell yourself, this person is safe. You can understand that the relationship is healthy. You can know that closeness is what you want. But a protective system built in childhood doesn't respond to logic. It responds to emotion, especially the emotion of threat. So intimacy becomes a paradox. You want connection, but your body remembers what closeness once cost you. And the body always tries to protect the heart. So how does a person begin to understand this fear? Not to fight it, not to fix themselves, but simply to recognize what is happening inside them. It begins with noticing. Noticing the moment someone gets close and you feel a subtle internal shift. Noticing the urge to withdraw, even slightly. Noticing the instinctive need to manage the distance. These are not signs of emotional failure. They are signs of an old protective system doing its job, sometimes too well. Try to observe the pattern with quiet honesty. That pause before you reply. That small emotional wall you build. That sudden need for independence when someone becomes important. Instead of judging yourself, you can ask, what is being protected right now? What part of me learned that closeness is risky? Is this fear from the present or from the past? This is not about pushing yourself to open up. That approach often backfires. Instead, it's about creating enough inner awareness that you can choose how to relate, rather than letting old mechanisms choose for you. Because the truth is, many people who fear closeness actually desire it more deeply than most. They simply want it in a way that feels safe, stable, and predictable, something they rarely experienced early in life. Understanding this about yourself can be profoundly healing. It transforms the narrative from, I'm cold, I'm distant, something is wrong with me, into I learned to protect myself in ways that made sense at the time. And now I'm understanding why. This shift alone can soften the fear. It doesn't eliminate it, but it gives you space to breathe inside it. So if you recognize yourself in any of this, the subtle distance, the protective withdrawal, the contradictory pull between wanting closeness and fearing it, know this. You are not broken. You are not incapable of connection. You are carrying a system that once kept you emotionally safe, even if that safety came at the cost of closeness. And the more you understand the origins of that system, the more gently you can navigate intimate relationships, with partners, with friends, with family, and most importantly, with yourself. Fear of closeness does not disappear overnight. But clarity makes it less frightening. Understanding makes it less overwhelming. And awareness makes it something you can move through slowly, in your own time. Because in the end, closeness frightens those who once experienced pain, but understanding these mechanisms opens the door to gentle healing and more honest relationships.